And if you're on the right path, he'll let you know. But if you're on that wrong path, you're going to get a lot of discernment. You're going to get a lot of uneasy feelings. You're going to get some confusion in there because that ain't God. So you just have to pay attention to what the Spirit is saying, what the Lord is saying to you. Stay in prayer on that. Anything else, y'all? Anybody want to add to that? Because this is open discussion. The question was, how do you get rid of old baggage and start new? Y'all ladies quiet tonight.
Sometimes when we think we got old baggage out and we jump into a relationship, we still carrying old baggage in there.
Yeah, that's true.
We may not realize it, but we are.
Yeah, we do. We bad at that. Because women don't like to throw nothing away. Women like to hoard feelings. Women love to hoard feelings. We want to keep feeling. We want to keep feeling things. Even when it hurts, we're going to make up an excuse to make sure that we make it look and feel good to us, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And when we do go into other relationships, we do carry a little bit of that baggage. But that little bit that we carry should be the thing to keep us on the right road, the little bit that we do carry, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. It should be pushing us forward and not pulling us backward. It shouldn't. If it's holding you in bondage, now if it's holding you in bondage where you just want that man to be like your last man, that's not my phone doing that this time. Is y'all okay? If you got it may be the speakerphone's on. That may be what's doing it, because I had to cut my speakerphone off. But if you are, oh, God, I forgot my phone. What was I saying, y'all? Their phone is squeezed in my ear. Okay, let's just move on. I can't remember what I was saying, but if it come back to me, I'll do it. Okay, so does anybody else have anything else to say on this topic right here? How do you get rid of old baggage and start new?
I just want, to me too, like with that thing what I had wrote down too with that, when like a relationship is dead, and ain't no backtracking, it's time to move on, right?
Say that again.
Like, when a relationship is dead, it ain't no backtracking, it's time to move on, right?
You're right. And the problem is sometimes us women don't realize when it's dead. We want to keep trying to revive a dead situation, resuscitating old situations, dead situations. Sometimes when it's dead, it's just dead, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You have to move on. You have to find something that will keep you going forward. And I'll tell you what will keep you going forward. Think about your life. Think about your life. Do you want to be sitting in the same position 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 20 years from now? Do you want to be sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you you're beautiful, that I love you, and show you these actions? Because if you're waiting on that one guy that keeps doing you wrong, it's not going to happen. That's his lifestyle. That's his lifestyle. Only God can change him. We are not God. Yes, God gives us angels. He does give us angels, but we are not God. We don't have the authority to change anybody. But what we can do, and I found this to be very helpful when you really want to start fresh and you want to move on, forgive them. Forgive them. Pray that God blesses them. Pray over their mind. Pray that God will put people in their path to lead and guide them and to help them. That's the best way to start off. If you really want to start off new, pray for God to give them a fresh start too. And instead of praying for God to change them, you pray for God to change you. Because sometimes we can be praying for you. I prayed 15 years, y'all. I prayed 15 years for God to change that man. I said I would wake up every day and I say, Lord, please change him. I didn't even know what change was really. I didn't even know what I wanted the Lord to change, because that was all I knew was a Bruce. So I didn't even know what I was praying for. I would just say, Lord, please change him. And then one day I woke up, and it was that night when I caught him cheating. Pocket dial, y'all, cell phones. Ooh, cell phones will get you in trouble. When I caught him cheating, and I heard him begging that woman to stay with him, that's when I realized. I said, Lord, change me. I don't know where I got that thought from, but you know the Holy Spirit will teach you what you ought to say. And that's what I said. I said, Lord, change me. And when I asked God for that request, that next day, I never looked back. I kept going for it. I said, I forgive him. I love him with God's love and all that, and I'm going for it. I'm going to go ahead and live my life, and that's what I did. I didn't look back, because once I released it and really gave it to God, it was like God really changed me right then, and that's when I was able to really start living. I didn't realize how much life I had missed out on. Yeah, so now if you're really going to change, you know, don't go off on what other people are feeling. You have to give your emotions time to settle down. Settle down. You know, just take a break, take a pause, go treat yourself or something. And one thing I found that when it comes down to moving on, social media don't help. Social media is not your friend when it comes down to relationships. Social media will have you jealous of people that don't exist. Hey, I know women. I promise you, I know women who put status up like all these women and men are out to get them, and it's nobody. It's those imaginations. Sometimes it's nobody. It's yourself out to get you. It's yourself. So social media does not help in situations like that. Talking bad about the person doesn't help. Hey, it didn't work. Just find out a way to say something good and move on. Talking bad is only going to make you feel bad after you done said it. You'll say one thing today, and then 2 days later you'll realize what you just said about that person and then realize that you still love them. And then you're hurt worse. So forgive, pray, and move on. Okay, you got anything else for us, Amanda? This is good. This is juicy.
I put to live happy and push forth.
To live happy and push forth.
I put all my questions all kind of together. That was my second question. And to forget, and my last question was to feel good about yourself.
Okay, to feel good about yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, after the relationship. How to feel good about yourself after the relationship?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to answer that? How to feel good about yourself after the relationship? I know we got more women on this line than me.
I think to feel good about yourself, being that you was in the toxic relationship, you know, and we stopped doing stuff that we like to do when we be in toxic relationships. So I would say to feel good about yourself, go do what you wanted to do before you got in that relationship.
Oh, that's good. And that was one of our teachings a few weeks ago.
And then, too, I take relationships, too, as lesson learner like me. I don't want to go back through this and stuff like that. They be like lesson learners.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to go back through it. That's for sure. Nobody wants to. Like I do. I'm very cautious, and I hate to be like that. And I'm human too, y'all. So I do make mistakes and stuff too. I'm one of the type that's better at dishing it out than taking my own advice. That's the type I am. But I do take my advice occasionally. And you know, we just have to really get to a point where we value ourselves. And when I say value, listen, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people will put the value on the wrong thing. The most valuable thing that a woman can have is her heart and mind.
Yeah.
Her heart and mind. When we value with our heart, that little muscle that continues to beat 233 plus times a minute, when we start valuing our heart and mind, then we will want more. We will do better. We won't accept anybody doing us any kind of way. And sometimes it's hard, but you have to step up as a woman and take control of your body. You only get one body and one mind. And it's true for all people. I don't care what color you are. If they kill the head, the rest will die. If a man takes your mind, if a woman takes a man's mind and destroys them mentally, then they have nothing. They don't have nothing but a body. So you have to be careful what you put out and what you take in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes me and you, well, I say, oh, what was you going to say? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't even know who was talking. Who was talking? Well, you know, being that we're talking about that, look, relationships are two, you know, relationships are just what it means. It's a relationship. It's a partnership. It's friendship. Listen, if you can't be friends, there's no way you can be lovers. If you sit around and you look and you see that your other half is rolling his eyes at you and you catch him unexpectedly doing that, if you're talking down to one another, then you know something isn't right in the relationship. And every woman has a right to examine what's going on in that relationship. And I find times that we'll see all this stuff going on, but then we'll ignore it till it really blows up. And when after it blows up, sometimes it's too late for some women. Some women don't make it out of that. Some of them end up in psychiatric wards. I had an aunt that ended up schizophrenia because she was in a bad relationship. She didn't realize that the man she loved really didn't care enough about her or her mind to give her life. The person who you are with should give you life. He shouldn't be taking nothing from you. A woman shouldn't be taking nothing from a man. She should be giving him life. If y'all aren't giving each other life, if you're not giving each other life, then you have to go back and examine who you are. It's not the man's fault. A man will do what you allow him to do. It's not his fault. It now falls on you to hold yourself accountable for what you let get done to you, what you take in. It's on you. Nobody can speak for you but you. The only way you're staying in bondage is because of you. And, you know, the Word of God, you know, it clearly lets us know those that offend us, cut them off. And it's easier said than done, but it can be done. If you're willing to go through the pain for a little bit, trust me, what's coming afterwards is way better than what you've been in. Okay.
Well, I got a question. Being that we are, as women, we are nurturers, right? And being that we are nurturers, you know how we nurture the babies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does that being that we like to nurture, does that keep us in the toxic relationship? Being that we're trying to nurture that relationship back healthy, but it's just not going nowhere?
What keeps us in the no, that's what makes us go foolish and spend all our money on them. But that's not what keeps us there. What keeps us there is fear. Fear of being alone and pride. That's what keeps us there. Now, the nurturing part, that's what makes us spend all our money and do this and that for them and, you know, try to impress and show off for them. That's that part. But the reason why we stay in those relationships like